Well, folks, he's done it again. Against all odds, Donald J. Trump has clinched a second term in the Oval Office. Donald J. Trump, defying the polls, the pundits, and maybe even the very laws of political gravity, has secured himself a second term as President of the United States. The election night was nothing short of a spectacle, with supporters celebrating across the nation. Buckle up, because the next 4 years are going to be a wild ride. The political landscape is set to be more turbulent than ever, with unexpected twists and turns at every corner. Trump's return to the White House sends shockwaves across the globe. International leaders and analysts are on high alert, trying to predict the ramifications of this unexpected victory. From the halls of Beijing to the boardrooms of Brussels, leaders are scrambling to understand what this means for the future. The geopolitical chessboard is being reset, and everyone is trying to figure out their next move. Will Trump's America First agenda intensify? His policies have already reshaped the global order, and now with another 4 years, the stakes are even higher. Will global alliances crumble under the pressure? NATO, the United Nations, and other international bodies may face unprecedented challenges as they navigate this new era. One thing's for sure, this ain't your average presidential transition. The atmosphere is charged with uncertainty and anticipation as both supporters and critics brace for what's to come. We're talking about a man who uses Twitter like a weaponized toddler uses a sippy cup. His tweets have the power to move markets, influence public opinion, and even alter diplomatic relations. A man who seems to make foreign policy decisions based on whatever Fox News was yelling about the previous evening. The media's role in shaping the administration's agenda cannot be overstated. So, as we embark on this unpredictable journey, let's try to make sense of the potential impact of a second Trump term on the U.S. and the world. The implications are vast, affecting everything from trade to climate policy, and from immigration to national security. Because frankly, we're all in this together, whether we like it or not. The world is watching, and the next 4 years will undoubtedly be a defining period in modern history. Let's stay informed, stay engaged, and navigate this journey together. Remember when America had allies, like actual reliable friends on the international stage? Yeah, those were the days. Under Trump, the very concept of alliances seems to have become as outdated as a fax machine. Trump's America First philosophy often translates to allies last. He's repeatedly clashed with NATO members, demanding they cough up more cash for defense while simultaneously undermining the alliance's unity. The message is clear. Loyalty is a one-way street, and that street is paved with American dollars. This transactional approach to diplomacy has left traditional U.S. allies feeling anxious and uncertain. Can they still rely on America's security guarantees, or are they better off hedging their bets and cozying up to other global players like, say, China? The potential consequences of this trust deficit are enormous. A fractured Western alliance plays right into the hands of adversaries like Russia and China, who are more than happy to exploit any cracks in the system. So much for making America great again. It seems like Trump's foreign policy is more about making America's enemies great again. One thing Trump loves more than a well-done steak is a good old-fashioned display of military might. And he's made it abundantly clear that he's not afraid to use it. Whether it's launching airstrikes in Syria or sending warships to the South China Sea, Trump has shown a willingness to flex America's military muscles on the global stage. But here's the thing. Military strength without a coherent strategy is like having a Ferrari without a steering wheel. You might look impressive for a while, but you're ultimately headed for a very expensive crash. And that's the concern with Trump's approach to national security. It's all about projecting power without a clear understanding of what that power is supposed to achieve. Trump's obsession with military spending is also deeply concerning. While he brags about increasing the defense budget, he seems to have little interest in addressing the underlying issues that actually make America safer, like climate change, pandemics, and cyber attacks. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound and calling it a day. Section 4. The Bear and the Eagle. A new Cold War? Remember the Cold War? That decades-long standoff between the U.S. and the Soviet Union that kept the world on the brink of nuclear annihilation? Good times, right? It was a period marked by intense rivalry, espionage, and a constant threat of nuclear war. The world watched as these two superpowers engaged in a high-stakes game of chess, each move potentially leading to global catastrophe. Well, get ready for a potential sequel, because relations between the U.S. and Russia are as frosty as a Siberian winter under Trump. The political climate has shifted dramatically, and the echoes of the past seem to be resonating louder than ever. Trump's bizarrely cozy relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin has raised eyebrows across the political spectrum. This unusual camaraderie has led to numerous speculations and concerns about the true nature of their relationship. From refusing to condemn Russian interference in the 2016 election, which many believe undermined the democratic process, to pulling out of key arms control treaties that have been the cornerstone of global security for decades, Trump has repeatedly sided with Putin over his own intelligence agencies. This has led to a significant erosion of trust within the U.S. intelligence community and has raised serious questions about national security. It's enough to make you wonder if Putin has compromising photos of Trump riding a bear shirtless. While this might sound like a joke, the underlying implications are no laughing matter. This renewed hostility between the two nuclear superpowers has dangerous implications for global security. The stakes are incredibly high, and the potential for a catastrophic misstep is ever present. Without the guardrails of diplomacy and arms control, the risk of miscalculation and escalation increases dramatically. The absence of these critical frameworks leaves the world in a precarious position. The risk of miscalculation and escalation increases dramatically. A single misstep could lead to an international crisis of unprecedented proportions. And let's not forget about the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, a flashpoint that continues to strain U.S.-Russia relations, where Russia's annexation of Crimea and support for separatists have created a volatile situation. This conflict serves as a stark reminder of the fragile nature of international peace and the ever-present threat of renewed hostilities. Section $5 in diplomacy, shaping the global economy, the U.S. dollar. It's the world's reserve currency, the lifeblood of international trade, and the financial instrument that underpins America's global dominance. For decades, the dollar has been the bedrock of international finance, facilitating transactions and investments across borders with unparalleled ease. But under Trump, the dollar's supremacy is facing unprecedented challenges. The global financial landscape is shifting, and the once unassailable position of the U.S. dollar is now under scrutiny. Trump's erratic economic policies, including his trade wars and massive tax cuts, have injected a level of uncertainty into the global economy not seen since the 2008 financial crisis. His approach has led to volatile markets and strained international relations, creating a ripple effect that has been felt worldwide. His penchant for protectionism and unilateralism has alienated America's trading partners and undermined confidence in the U.S. as a reliable economic leader. Countries that once looked to the U.S. for stability and guidance are now questioning its commitment to global economic cooperation. As the U.S. retreats from its traditional role as a champion of free trade and globalization, other countries, particularly China, are stepping in to fill the void. This shift in power dynamics is reshaping alliances and economic strategies on a global scale. China's Belt and Road Initiative, a massive infrastructure project spanning Asia, Europe, and Africa, is just one example of how Beijing is seeking to reshape the global economic order in its own image. By investing in infrastructure and forging new trade routes, China is positioning itself as a central hub in the global economy. The stakes couldn't be higher. The decisions made today will have far-reaching consequences for the future of international trade and economic stability. The stability of the global economy and the livelihoods of billions of people depend on whether the U.S. can regain its economic footing and provide the leadership the world so desperately needs. The path forward is uncertain, but the need for decisive and cooperative action has never been more critical. As nations navigate this complex landscape, the role of diplomacy and economic strategy will be paramount in shaping the future of the global economy.